This is bigger than a slip of tongue. What we are seeing now looks like internal betrayal. And someone inside the system just got exposed. Because when testimony starts collapsing under its own weight, when procedures are ignored, when protection suddenly looks selective, that's not confusion. That's coordination. And the real question is no longer what was said. The real question is who was being protected and who was sacrificed. Stay with me, because once we connect the dots, the picture becomes very uncomfortable for certain people.
No, start with a re-examination.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kashaka, would you clarify to me, especially about the issue of Rivers Peace, as I've already testified, you did not have any policy, or there was no prescript in Ekurhuleni which prevents the action that was taken by Rivers Peace?
Thank you, Chair. In terms of I think the memo that was read here today and his exit form, the exit form talks to retirement, resignation, deceased, and abandonment. And it goes further. In his form, he ticked retirement, and then he added early with a pen, and it says 60 years. And then again, in his resignation letter, okay, I'm not sure if this was shared with the commission. In his resignation letter, if I may read it, is that he said, early retirement or resignation from employment, please accept this letter as a formal notification that I'm resigning from my position as Deputy Chief of Police, Auxiliary and Support Services with Ekurhuleni Police Department, effective 28 February 2025. This decision comes after 42 years of dedicated service to the law enforcement profession and 33 years to the city, during which I had privilege of contributing to the safety and well-being of our community. I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity and experiences I have gained through my career. I have reached the age of 60.
Sorry, Mrs. Kashega. I hope I remember what the question was. I think it was, is there a prescript?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, the question is about the existence of a prescript, Mrs. Kashega, not the motivation for taking early retirement.
There is a document that talks to when you take early retirement, and then there will be, you will contribute, the employer will assist you to contribute towards your medical aid until upon death. There is a mayoral or council resolution to that effect.
So that document, does it state as to whether if maybe you get employment somewhere else whilst you are on those benefits, the previous employer will stop its benefits that it has given to you or awarded to you?
Sorry, Chair, I do need to object here, because if we're talking about what a hypothetical document says in relation to Ekurhuleni policy and precepts, we need to see the document. Or at the very least, we need to have some description of the document that will enable us to locate it.
Should we proceed on the let's hear the witnesses answer, Mr. Shoskelson, and then endeavors should be made to get the document. I think Mrs. Tlasheka would assist in sourcing the document. Your answer to the question?
Okay, thank you, Chair. Yes, Chair, there is a council resolution. I will try and get it through the right channels from Ekurhuleni. And the documents speak, it talks specifically to retired employee, not to employees that have resigned and intend to join another municipality. It just talks about retirement.
And early retirement is defined as retirement.
Yes, I don't have an issue with the early
All right,
retirement,
all
Chair.
right,
Where I said I had an issue, is for you to correct.
I'm raising it purely because you refer to resignation and taking up employment elsewhere. That's why I'm just saying early retirement is retirement. Yes, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nothing further. I think she has clarified it.
Before we unveil this, pause for 1 second, subscribe, and like this video, because what you're about to hear might completely shift how you see this entire situation.
Could have still done better. I'm taking that, but I'm still appealing that. Hopefully, when you look at this matter in its entirety, we will see how the outcomes come out. And also, one can say that this is a process where continuous improvement are going to be taken seriously, and we can do better next time. It's just difficult, Chair, to agree that you just fully contributed, you had an intention not to discipline. It might look that way, but I want to say it was never my intention. Thank you.
And it's not a case of just Julius Mkhwanazi being protected. It's a case of him also being advanced because he was promoted. And with that promotion, there was you motivating that his salary be increased by 200,000 rands. So it wasn't just being protected at the position where he was. It was a case of you knowing that there were serious allegations because the forensic people who conducted the forensic investigation, they say one of the documents given to them is the charge sheet, which means by August you knew what the charges were against Julius Mkhwanazi. In October, when you support his promotion, you are aware that IPID independently has found that he's guilty of fraud and corruption and must be charged internally. And knowing those things, you still say this person is suitable for promotion to Deputy Chief of Police and an even better salary, some 200 plus over and above what he earned before. Now that is serious.
Let me make a correction. I'm not sure when I got to know about the IPID reports and the legal opinion. I said earlier on I didn't have the dates. But one thing that came to my attention in August, it was obviously the charges and the stopping of the DC. And I said already, I'm taking grant of that. We could have made better judgment. Despite that, there were instructions that were made, we could still have made better judgment. On the promotion, I'm still going to say that when the charges are not proven, it becomes difficult if you already shortlisted and recommended the person for promotion. On the issue of the salary, on the issue of the salary review, when an employee is a permanent employee, he's got certain benefits, employer contribution. So when you count the breakdown, it becomes different. And when you now put them on a total cost, when you FTC, you are putting a total cost. And number two, what we normally consider is the issue of the risk embedded, that now we are on a 5-year contract. Deputy Chief of Police Mkhwanazi was not the only person who has requested his salary to be looked at. when he becomes a divisional head, convert from permanent to be divisional head. Majority of divisional heads, if I'm not mistaken, they do make that submission. And it does get considered, I'm sure 99% of them. And one thing we've picked up as an anomaly in the city is that the gap between the senior executive manager and the divisional head, the salary. In fact, in other instances, the senior executive manager will earn more than a divisional head. It's an anomaly that we're dealing with right now. So his salary review, it goes with a promotion that we could have done better. But again, you could not prejudice him in terms of the salary review. As I say that, even Rivers Peace got a salary review. Xolani Ngceza got a salary review. I got a salary review. And so many people. And I say main issue, it must be noted, is because of the overlap in the salaries between that lower level and the divisional head. What I remain with, allegations, I got to know about them in August. October, we did interview, but they were not concluded. And we're learning from that we shouldn't have even shortlisted, we should not even interviewed. I did say, let's re-advertise. But because Chief didn't want to extend Mzolo, if you check the events, the way I was trying to assist, I'm saying in November, I think we interviewed, we shortlisted in September, we interviewed in October, I can't remember now the dates. In November, I'm saying, Chief, let's extend. Because there's so many processes to be followed. Even the forensic process, Chair, I wouldn't have known it will take that long. So I have this thing that if maybe we did extend the contract of Mr. Mzolo, maybe again we won't be here, Chair.
Can I stop you there, because I think the question was limited. Now you are dealing